How are you doing, everybody? Welcome to Darryl's live show. This is episode number 15. And welcome to today's September 10th, year 2020. So, hope everybody's having a great time for whatever you're doing. Hope you're staying busy and that you're staying healthy and well. And so, the folks on the broadcast, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be posting this to my YouTube channel tomorrow. That's Darryl Armistead at YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. You'll see hundreds of videos for your viewing and listening pleasure. Got a special guest with me on today. And my guest today is Mr. Bill Simmons, one of the co-founders of the legendary band Midnight Star. Midnight Star was formed as a party band at Kentucky State University that soon turned into a platinum album-selling group that was one of the premier funk bands in the country. They had hits like No Parking on the Dance Floor, Freakazoid, Midas Touch, Wet My Whistle, and the Lover's Ballad Slow Jam. Help me welcome the co-founder of the group, Mr. Bill Simmons. Hey, Bill, welcome to the show.
Hey, Darryl. I thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it, and like to say hello to everyone out there. Hope life is treating you well during these strange times.
Yeah, it is. It's not too bad. I'm just trying to stay busy. But it's a pleasure for me to have you on the show because, not only are you my cousin, but you're the leader of one of my favorite bands from all time. You guys ruled the 80s, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. Midnight Star started in college. Can you give us a little history about how the band began?
Yeah. We started in college at Kentucky State University down in Frankfort, Kentucky. The whole idea started with myself and Reggie Calloway. We were friends on campus, musical buddies. We went back a couple years before Midnight Star, playing in bands together, marching band, jazz ensemble. We both studied jazz improvisation, orchestration, composition, and we practiced together and did a lot of gigs together. And in 1976, I went to Reggie one day and said, "Hey, man, let's start a new band." And Reggie was, he was kind of like, "Well, if I start a new band, it's got to be some serious musicians that really want to try to make it in the music industry." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm on board with that. Let's do it." So we set out on campus and started recruiting. And there was a lot of great musicians that we already knew on campus. We just didn't know if they were really serious about like doing something career-wise as far as being in a band and performing and everything. Mm-hmm. So we started approaching different people, and we wound up with the crew. Me, Reggie, Jeff Cooper, Kenneth Gant, Belinda Lipscomb. We met two new students, two freshmen that came in, Bo Watson and Melvin Gentry, and they were dynamite, man. And we came together and formed this new band, and things like clicked early on. I mean, I remember the first rehearsal, man, we were like, "Hey, this could be something special." So it just clicked, and we kept it going.
Oh, that's great. And how'd the band actually break into the music industry? What gave you your first good break that got you up and running?
Well, we immediately, as soon as we could, we started gigging. We learned a couple of songs, and we were doing gigs and jazz standard, anything from jazz standards to disco. we were doing it all. And our first break into the music business was actually just gigging, like all other bands. We played anywhere and everywhere we could, dances, clubs, whatever. But what really happened, one of our long lost band members, a guy named Dana Madison, he was a guitarist. He joined the band after the original inception. But when he joined the band, he brought a PA system, a light system. He had one of those old conversion vans.
Oh yeah.
And we truly, at that point, became self contained. And we could go and set up and gig anywhere. We didn't have to worry about renting anything. We had all the gear we needed. And so for the next couple of years, we just gigged, and we started recording and doing a couple of demos, but we didn't have any record deal or anything. We were just writing songs and essentially like a cover band when we did gigs. But we knew we wanted something bigger than that. But we were just a working band, man, working clubs.
Yeah. Okay. How did the Midnight Star happen to make the transition to recording artists?
Well, as I said, we always had in our mindset that we wanted to be a recording artist. So we were writing songs, and that was our goal. We wanted to get a record deal. Through a few connections, we had set up a showcase in New York City. Plans to go to New York and showcase for some talent agents and everything. But we didn't have all the right connections, but we did find someone that was willing to bring us to New York. Well, our cousin, who you had on the show a few weeks ago, Rodney Studd, he had a band called Rapture, and they happened to be showcasing in New York around the same time. It wasn't the exact same time. It was like within a week of each other. And Rodney had a manager named Terry Downs, and he actually called us and said, "Hey, why don't you talk to my manager? She's got some connections with some industry insiders." And so we did talk to Terry Downs, and she did have some connections, and she invited some record company and talent scout people to come to our showcase. One of the people she invited was a person named Richard Aaron. And Richard Aaron he didn't work for any particular record company. He was just kind of like a talent scout. And he saw us and was really impressed with our show and started getting the word out to different industry people and created a little buzz. A few weeks later, we get a call from Mr. Dick Griffey, the president and CEO of Solar Records, saying he'd heard about us and heard we were supposed to be good. Those were his words. We're supposed to be good, but he needed to see for himself. So by that time, we were living in Cincinnati. So he flew into Cincinnati and set up a private showcase. We just performed for him. Wow. And he liked it, but he wasn't sold yet. So he set up a second showcase, and we performed for him again. And at that second showcase, he offered us a record deal.
Wow, that's terrific.
And that's really the story of how it all came to be. We went ahead and we accepted the record deal and started recording for Solar Records.
Right. Okay. But not exactly an overnight success because let's see, the record deal was in what year?
The record deal was signed in, I believe, 1979.
Okay. Well, it's still moving pretty fast because the band just started in 76?
In 76, yeah. It was signed, and we did our first album in 1980. And that's where the work began, because our big commercial success didn't come until our fourth album.
Okay. Well, back in those formative years, did you really think that you would become platinum selling artists, or was it just your dream to play music?
Well, I would say both. It was our dream to to be successful playing music. Platinum selling, I don't know, but as long as we wanted to have a career playing music and be an established recording artist. That's what we wanted to do. And so we really love playing music, still love playing music. And but being able to write songs and write and arrange and perform your own songs, I mean, that was a great, that was the dream of ours.
Hmm. And your dream kind of came true with No Parking on the Dance Floor. That album was your breakout album in 1983. And the first single from the album, Freakazoid, went to number 2 on the U.S. Black Singles Chart. What was the brainstorm behind Freakazoid? You know, that word became a word that everybody started using. So how did y'all come up with that?
Well, a little backstory on that is we had done 3 albums previously, you know, more traditional R&B funk things, and got some critical acclaim, but no commercial success. So we really started listening and listening to and talking to and observing people who weren't musicians, going to clubs, seeing what's happening on the street level. And of course, at that time, breakdancing and in the early 80s, breakdancing and rap music and hip hop were really becoming popular. So we started like really paying attention to that and figuring out how can we take our musical roots and add some of the contemporary sounds of today. And I'm a sax player. Reggie's a trumpet player. His brother Vincent is a trombone player. Well, the 3 of us said, let's put our horns down and pick up keyboards. And we just started like jamming and playing. Reggie had gone to a party, and at this party, every time a cute girl would hit the dance floor, all the guys on the dance floor would start yelling, "Zoid, Zoid, Zoid." So he took that and turned it into, you know, this dancing robot kind of concept of Freakazoid.
Oh, that's great.
And that's where the title came from. And then the 3 of us, me and the Calloway brothers, we put our heads together and came up with the music to support it, and the robot voice and the weird sound effects, and still has some good melodies and nice synthesizer melodic lines, and they put a little bit of music into a simple beat, you know,
Right.
And that's how it happened.
That's a great formula. It works so well. And one of your biggest hits was a song that you wrote, No Parking on the Dance Floor. And that song and video, in my opinion, are one of the most amazing party events of our time. How'd you come up with the ideas for that song and video for No Parking on the Dance Floor?
Well, again, that was a collaboration. It was Bobby Lovelace, our drummer, and me and Vincent Calloway. And so it was 3 of us that wrote that song. And it started because Bobby was out driving around one day, parked his car, went and ran a couple errands, and came back and had a parking ticket. And of course, he was upset about parking ticket. You know, who wants to pay money for a parking ticket? But he decided he was going to take that negative and turn it into a positive and write a song about it.
All right.
And his song ended up being like, you know, instead of no parking on the street and getting a ticket, you get a ticket if you were parked on the dance floor.
Okay.
And so he was instrumental. He was the primary guy on that, doing all the lyrics and everything. Vincent and I collaborated on the music. I did all the synthesizers and everything on that song, and programmed the drum machine and all that stuff. And then everybody else joined in. We added some funk to it with guitar and bass, and finished the thing off.
All right. Yeah. Do you mind if I play that for our audience? No parking on the dance
Oh,
floor?
sure. Sure. I'm sure they'd like to hear
All
it.
right, here we go. See, that's Murphy's Law. If it can't go wrong, it will.
Nice start.
Hey, baby, you can't park here. I can't park here. Move the car on the side somewhere. Come on, move your car. Way out.
Excuse me, madam. You're standing still in a no parking zone. If you don't get a move on that body, I'll be forced to give you a ticket. So get with it.
There you are. Pink shirt.
Yeah, hair.
It's a party tonight, you're in a red light zone. If you don't want a ticket, you better move on. If you break the law, you got to pay your dues. Be much better if you play it by the rules. 'Cause it's so easy, it's so right, it's so easy. You rock it with your body, baby, it's so easy. It's so right, it's so easy. You can drive it all night. No parking, baby. No parking on the dance floor. No parking, baby. No parking on the dance floor. Let me hear you play your horn. Moving violations are easy to fix. Just tell the DJ to fix it in the mix. Shake it up and shake it all around. Let me feel you moving. You gotta get down, 'cause it's so easy. It's so right. It's so easy to rock it with your body, baby. It's so easy. It's so right. It's so easy. You can drive it all night. No parking, baby. No parking on the dance floor. No parking, baby. No parking on the dance floor. Don't break your booty, don't break your can. It's time to party, it's time to jam. Don't break your booty, don't break your can. It's time to party, it's time to jam. Don't break your booty, don't break your can. It's time to party, it's time to jam. Don't break your booty, don't break your can. It's time to party, it's time to jam. No parking, baby. No parking on the dance floor. No, no parking, baby. No parking on the dance floor. Oh,
That was fun.
I would say that's amazing. What was that, about 300 or 400 people out there?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was probably like 150, 200 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
A party all night long in downtown Los Angeles.
yeah. So looking at something like that makes me want to get up and party wherever I am.
Yeah, that was a good time. They had all those celebrity lookalikes in there. You had a Prince lookalike and
Yeah.
Madonna lookalike. We had a lot of fun with that one, and then they had all the extras come in, and that video was directed by a guy named Bill Parker, who did he did a lot of videos in the '80s for a lot of big name acts. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
He showed us that treatment and for the video, and we were like, "Yeah, we're doing this."
Right. And Midnight Star was always one of the best choreographed bands out there, and so your dancing fit you just fit right in with your dancing on that video.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. So, was everything in producing that song? Was that a collaboration, or was it led by a single producer?
Well, with us being a self-contained band we wrote and arranged our own music, we've kind of always collaborated on things. But if you do it all collaboration, you have to have somebody that's going to make some decisions, and that was Reggie's job. So yeah, okay, I got everybody's ideas. Let's put them together like this and move on. So it was collaboration. But yeah, as a producer, he had to make decisions so we could have some focus.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way to do it, to have a producer to focus, to bring it all together.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, one of the things you guys mastered the synthesizer thing of mastering that techno funk that was in the 80s, but you started off as a funk horn band like Earth, Wind and Fire, and so you made that transition from techno funk using synthesizers, vocoders, sound effects. Was it easy to make that transition?
Well, it was easy for me because I always doubled on keyboards. I was a sax player, but I always played piano and keyboard. So I was already interested into synthesizers. I was pretty amazed by the technology, and I dove deep into it.
Yeah.
And started programming and doing sound design with synthesizers pretty early on. Then a lot of it came out of necessity. After doing 3 albums that weren't commercially successful,
Uh-huh.
we kind of had to go in a different direction. And I think I mentioned it earlier. On the song Freakazoid, the horn section, we put our horns down and picked up keyboards and created Freakazoid. So doing the people dubbed it techno funk, but we always thought of it like we're still doing funk and R&B. We're just changing up the instrumentation some. And instead of the horns, of course, there's synthesizers. A lot of songs, even a song like, say, Wet My Whistle, people come to me and say the drum machine sounds like a real drummer, because that's a real drummer. We didn't use drum machine on that song. We didn't use drum machine on everything. But even when we did, a lot of times we would have the drummer program the drum machine.
Right.
So it would feel, more natural, but then you leave enough of the stiffness or whatever, the sterility, for lack of a better word, of the drum machine in there, so people kind of know it gives it that techno vibe,
Right.
So there's There was a lot that went into it, but we were having a lot of fun doing it, and we embraced the technology.
Obviously. Another one of my favorite Midnight Star songs is a song that you wrote, Don't Rock the Boat, that was released in 1987. And I like that you got John Fletcher, a.k.a. Ecstasy of Houdini, to do that rap break. How'd you manage to get him in on the project?
Well, again, kind of out a necessity. I wrote that song, and when I wrote it, I wrote the rap, and when I demoed it, I did the rap, and the guys were like, "Bill, you can't rap."
They tell me that, but I rap anyway.
Yeah. Well, I knew I couldn't rap, and because that's a rapping, a good MC, and we got some genius MCs out there, and a good MC is worth its weight in gold. You got to really have a talent for that, and I didn't have I wrote the lyrics, but I didn't have the talent to perform it. Okay. So at that point, we had to decide, like, who are we going to get to do this rap? And we looked at each other because we could have had one of the band members do it, but everybody's like, hey, we're singers and musicians. We're not rappers. Let's get a real rapper. Uh-huh. And so, we wanted to get somebody that was well known at the time. It was a collaboration. We wanted to get somebody well known, but we also wanted to get someone that could kind of bridge between R&B and hip hop. Yeah. We talked about like maybe LL Cool J or Kool Moe Dee or something like that, but then Houdini, we were Houdini fans. If you remember some of Houdini's records, they had things like Freaks Come Out at Night or Friends, One Love. Uh-huh. One thing that was a lot different about Houdini, if you listen to their record, they sang all their hooks.
Right.
Yeah, so they really had, like, they were doing rap, but they had an R&B flavor to their music. And we just thought it would be a perfect match. So, at that time, they were being managed by Def Jam, Russell Simmons. So I got his number and called and said, hey, we want to use Houdini on this song. And he got us in touch, and we talked to him, and they were like, sure. And came out because, the song, we were singing verses and stuff. We couldn't use both Ecstasy and Jaleel on it, but Jaleel was cool with that. He said, well, just go ahead and use X. And we did that, and it was something special. He brought some great things to it. Like I said, I wrote the rap, but the way he performed it and the rhythms and inflection he put on it, it was really special.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to play the video of Don't Rock the Boat. And let's see, I've got the official music video queued up. Is that the one with the video, or am I going to get live video action on that, or pick another one?
If it's the official one, that should be the official one is. All right. That should be the good one.
There we go. That's the one.
A story about a girl and a guy. The guy was too fat, the girl was too fly. They'd been together for a very long time when they felt the sense of change in the state of their mind. They had a true love, but they just didn't know how to talk to one another, so the feelings couldn't show to each other. They wouldn't devote. Had to ruin that rope, had to rock that boat. Don't rock that boat, baby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just relax and let it go.
You and I together, boy, we made a perfect pair. Till we got those illicit feelings and made those gay drugs with that day. Well, I'm not one to regret, but I know I did you wrong. And it's so hard to forget how you love me all night long.
I try to understand
and my feelings. Why'd I ever play on you? In these days of danger, I really should be true. It ain't worth those silly chances to be a fool and number our days. From right now to forever, let's remember the simple phrase. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just relax and let it float. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just chill out and let it float. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby.
Foolishly, I played the field to satisfy myself, but the true satisfaction comes from you and no one else.
Ooh, you don't have to worry, 'cause I feel the same way too. And I'll never touch another. Baby, I'm saving my love for you.
We were lucky, we found out in time.
Now that we know the truth,
Sugar things will work out fine.
we will stay together and we'll
Never drift apart.
I know just what to do to keep you in my heart. Don't like that boat. Here we go. Let me tell you a story about a girl and a guy. The guy was too fat, the girl was too fly. They'd been together for a very long time when they felt the sense of change in the state of their mind. They had a true love, but they just didn't know how to talk to one another, so the feelings could show to each other. They wouldn't be folk, had to ruin that love, had to rock that love. The girl wanted love that was gigantic, but love was wicked like Titanic. Not just knee-deep, it was totally deep. When the fire girl had to stop to keep her man who was rocking those freaks ahoy. She said to herself, what's wrong with that boy? To each other we should be folk. We love each other, stop rocking that boat. Don't rock that boat, baby.
Ain't broke, don't fix it. Just relax and let it float. Don't rock the boat.
Baby.
If it don't fit, don't force it. Just chill out and let it float.
I always love that splash at the end of that video.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to bring you back. Where'd you go, Bill?
I'm right here.
There we go. That's,
All right.
All right. I've learned how to bring my guests back. I
All right.
have to minimize you two.
Yeah.
So tell me about
That was a
recent,
fun video.
yeah. Tell me about recent life from Midnight Star before the pandemic hit.
Oh, well, before the pandemic hit, everything was smooth as silk. we were gigging as much as we could. We were, touring the country. Since last year, I think it was last year, we did the Tom Joyner cruise. We had done 80s in the Sand in the Dominican Republic with a bunch of big name pop groups. I think Bret Michaels and Thomas Dolby and Jody Watley and a lot of other people were on that show. That was a lot of fun, and we were just toured all over the country, man. And then the pandemic hit, and everything stopped.
Okay. Well, I hope they get a vaccine sometime before the year is out and we can get things back to normal, because I know your public would love to see you back out there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting back out there and doing it. But right now we have to be safe. We're not gonna take too many chances of getting out there, and we don't want people like gathering in crowds and someone getting sick. So,
Right.
so yeah, we have to wait for the vaccine and and know that the vaccine is safe and works and everything.
Right. And if everybody would take a close look at the background behind Bill, you'll see the double platinum records for the album No Parking on the Dance Floor, along with 3 other gold records, right?
Yeah. Well, of course, No Parking was gold, then platinum, then double platinum, but Planetary Invasion was gold, and Headlines was gold.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the real thing, a real major artist on my show. So, everybody give it up for Mr. Bill Simmons, co-founder of Midnight Star.
Right. Well, thank you, Darryl. I really appreciate you having me on here. I had a good time. And to everyone out there, just be safe. Make sure you vote in November.
Very important.
If you're early voting, or if you're doing mail-in, use that drop box. Who knows what's going on with the post office right now?
True.
So use the drop box, but by all means, vote. Right. And be safe. I love you. Appreciate you for listening to Midnight Star Music all these years.
All right. Okay, Bill. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Okay, everybody. I am back, and thanks for being a part of another Darryl's Live show. Okay, I had some requests. One that came in today from Steve Lebbing. He wanted to hear some Bee Gees. So this is How Deep Is Your Love? Me in the pouring rain, and the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, and you soften me, and it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Darkest hour, you're my savior when I fall, and you may not think that I care for you when you know down inside that I really do, and it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need your love. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, by request, Steve Levin. How deep is your love? All right, let's see. Let's welcome some people to the broadcast. Lots of people. Bill Simmons. He was my guest, but now he's watching. Sonia Hicks, the diva. Be sure to check out her live show on Sunday, 3 o'clock Central. She'll be taking requests and singing your favorite songs. Mark Lindholm is watching. Sid Uncle James Johnson is watching. And Sid says, hey, Cousin Bill. My cousin Gavin Howard is out there. Brian Barrich, good friend from Indianapolis. Sharon Freeman, another good friend from Indianapolis. They've been having a conversation going back and forth saying, hey, Sharon, hey, Brian. And Sharon says, tell Jeffrey Cooper, hey. Brian says, haven't seen this one before. I like the beat and the showmanship. Of course you do. That's some of the world's best. Catherine Lugo Gray is watching. Hey, Catherine. Sharon says, wow, history-making live interview right here. So, I'm trying to develop some interview skills. It's hard, I'm used to being interviewed. I'm not used to being the interviewee. Guy Lipkins is out there. Hey, Guy. Debbie Grand George Honkala from out in Sandwich, Illinois. Hey, Debbie. Tell Bob and Eric I said, hey. Alan Hannapel. Cindy Meeker Oberman from St. Louis. Hey, Cindy. Jerome Cheatham. Bass is watching. Blaine Taylor from St. Louis. So this is Janet Currens, and the list goes on and on. Frank Nigel from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. Jerry Smith. So welcome to the party. Got lots more where this comes from. Last week I had a request from Frank Nigel, my long-term drummer, buddy, pal, friend, and he asked me for a song that we used to make a lot of fun when we did gigs. It was called What Becomes of the Broken Hearted. It's by Jimmy Ruffin, brother of David Ruffin of the Temptations. And we had a lot of fun with it because I would mess it up. I would mess up the lyrics, and I would do some lyrics that rhymed with broken hearted. And so you can probably figure out what that is, but I'll try not to let that slip this time around. So here we go with What Becomes of the Broken Hearted.
of the broken hearted who had love that's
What becomes of the broken hearted who has gone but now departed? I know I've got to find some kind of peace of mind. Baby, please. There you go. That's for you, Frank. And just to confirm, I still don't know that song. I'm going to learn it one day. But, I got to do more than once every 3 years to really learn it. Okay, since we're doing classic R&B, this is back to the 60s. Little Dobie Gray, a tune called Drift Away. Day after day, I'm more confused. Yet I look through the light, through the pouring rain. You know that's a game I hate to lose. And I'm feeling the strain. Ain't it a shame? Oh, give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Oh, give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Beginning to think that I'm wasting time. Don't understand the things I do. The world outside looks so unkind. And I'm counting on you to carry me through. Oh, give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Yeah, give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. And when my mind is free, you know a melody can move me. And when I'm feeling blue, the guitar's coming through to soothe me. Thanks for the joy that you're giving to me. I want you to know I believe in your song. Rhythm and rhyme and harmony. You help me along, making me strong. Oh, give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Oh, give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Thank you so much. Let's see what's going out there in internet land. Oh, Kathy Fern. How you doing, Kathy? A secondhand soul band, leader of that dynamic Chicago area band. So, Kathy, I have to talk to you about being a guest on my show sometime. And Frank Nagel says, more memories. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. And just in case Sid Uncle Jams Johnson didn't get it, Bill Simmons replied and said, hey, Sid. Beverly Wheatley is watching. Hey, Beverly. So, and Judy Stroker from St. Louis is watching. Hey, Judy. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining the party. Next up is, since I'm doing classic R&B, there's nobody that says classic R&B like Drake. Say what? Drake? He's not classic R&B. But that's okay. Hope you like the song anyway. It's called Hold On, I'm Going Home. So far, it sounds like a Midnight Star song. I got my eyes on you. Everything that I see, I want your hot love and emotion endlessly. I can't get over you. You left your mark on me. I want your hot love and emotion endlessly. Cause you a good girl and you know it. You act so different around me. Cause you a good girl and you know it. I know exactly who you could be. Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. It's hard to do these things alone. Just hold on, we're going home. I got my eyes on you. Everything that I see, I want your hot love and emotion endlessly. I can't get over you. You left your mark on me. I want your hot love and emotion endlessly. Cause you a good girl and you know it. You act so different around me. Cause you a good girl and you know it. I know exactly who you could be. So just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. It's hard to do these things alone. Just hold on, we're going home. You're the girl, you're the one. Gave you everything I love. I think there's something. I think there's something. You're the time. You're the time. Give you everything I love. I think there's something. Think there's something. Cause you a good girl and you know it. You act so different around me. Cause you a good girl and you know it. I know exactly who you could be. Just hold on, we're going home. Hard to do these things alone. Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, got time for one more. This is, I always get a lot of requests for Luther Vandross. I don't understand why, because I don't sound anything like him. But, okay, you know, I'm stuck with doing songs my way. So you'll never accuse me of copying anybody because I'm not good enough to actually copy anybody but myself. So this was originally a Crosby, Stills, and Nash song that Luther redid, and it's called Love the One You're With. There's a rose in a fisted glove. The eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, it's all right. Go ahead and love the one, love the one, love the one you with. Go ahead and love the one, love the one, love the one you with. Ooh. Yeah. All right. If you're down and confused, you don't remember who you're talking to. Your concentration slips away because your baby sweetheart sugar so far away. And there's a rose in a misty cloud, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Don't be angry. Don't be sad. Don't sit crying for good times you had. 'Cause there's a girl right next to you, and she's waiting, waiting, waiting for something to do. 'Cause there's a rose in the city ground, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Don't know why you don't. You don't know why. Don't know why you don't. Turn your heartache right into joy. She's a girl and you a boy. Get it together and make it last. You're not gonna need any more advice. 'Cause there's a rose in a misty cloud, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, oh, love, 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 love.
Love the one,
Love, 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 love.
love the one,
Love, 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 love.
love the one.
Love, la, 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 la. You gotta do something. Got to do something tonight. You've been jumping so long.
The one you're with,
Don't like the feeling. It's not like you're falling in love.
the one you're with,
Hugging and kissing, you're not like resisting make love.
the one you're with,
Can't do no harm if it's only one night and you're there.
the one you're with.
My man, go head on, find somebody, love somebody. Love will still be right there when you get home. For the night, get the right, eagles flying through the night. And if you can't get the night, the one you love, just love the one you need. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, thank you so much for hanging out with me on my live show. Oh, Shirley Wilson, my cousin, is out there. Hey, Shirley. So don't forget to tune in this Sunday, 3 o'clock Central, for the Diva Sonia Hicks live show. We'll see you all then. Everybody have a wonderful week, wonderful evening. See you next time. Good night.